All right, guys, so welcome to another episode of One Show Publishers, where we live that passive income life one idea at a time. So today's question, actually three questions, but they're all about emergency funds. The three questions we have are, what is an emergency fund? How much should be in my emergency fund? And where should I keep my emergency fund? So let's get into the first question. So what is an emergency fund? So basically, an emergency fund is a fund that you have that takes care of unexpected expenses. What type of expenses? It could be expenses around damage that might have happened to your car. You got a flat tire, that's not something that you saw coming. It could be a medical, emergency. Someone got hurt. You need to take them, to the hospital, to the doctor. It could be something that happened at your house or your apartment. Your water heater went out. Your furnace went out. Any type of thing like that. Something that was not expected, that you didn't plan for. So you use your emergency fund for that. Some people ask, well, what's the difference between an emergency fund and a savings account? Well, they're both savings account, but it's about what you use that money for. So you may have a long-term savings plan for college. That money is specifically going towards somebody's college education. So you might have a 529 account. You're going on a vacation. You may have a savings account that you're pushing money over there for that particular purpose. Those are things that you are planning for, and you know exactly what the money is going to go for. It's going to go for college. It's going to go for my vacation. We're going to a concert, whatever that is. That's the difference between a regular type of savings account and an emergency fund account. So the next question is, how much money should be in my emergency fund? That wavers depending on who you ask, and I would say that has changed, in my opinion, since the pandemic happened. But typically, they say that you should have 3 to 6 months worth of basic living expenses in your emergency fund. So if it takes you $1,000 a month to live in your environment, whatever it may be, maybe that helps pay for an apartment that you share with some other people. It helps pay for your car payment, whatever your monthly expenses are. You need to add all of those up, and that determines how much it takes for you to survive each month. That doesn't include any type of partying or any type of clothes and things that you're buying for fun. Those are not basic expenses. Basic expenses are insurance on your car payment, your mortgage, your rent, groceries that you have to have, your utilities, if you have a cell phone, if you have cable, different things like that you say that you need for your basic living expenses. Add all of those up. Whatever that amount comes to, you need to multiply that times 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, whatever amount you choose to have as your emergency fund. So, like I said, if it takes you $1,000 a month, you want a 3-month emergency fund, it's 1,000 times 3. So you need 3,000 in your emergency fund. If it's more than that, then you multiply whatever that number is times the amount of months you want for your emergency fund. Now, I said that probably should change post the pandemic. A lot of us were impacted by the pandemic. Some people were out of work for 3 to 6 months. Some people were out longer. So you have to determine, do you need 3 months? Do you need 6 months? Do you need 9 months? I personally think you should have 9 to 12 months, but you do whatever you can. It's different for everyone. The main thing is you need to have an emergency fund. So now that you do have that emergency fund, where should you put that money? Some people say, well, I'm just going to keep my, emergency fund money at home. I'm going to, put it away somewhere in my safe. And that's fine. As long as you use that money for emergencies, it doesn't matter where you save it. Where I would suggest you put it is in a high yield savings account. So not just a regular bank savings account. So if you go to Wells Fargo, Bank of America, whatever bank that you work with, typical annual percentage yields on savings account is 0.01%. So it's very low. On a high yield savings account, you're going to have at least 0.50%. So a big difference. If you want to look at that from a number perspective, let's say your $1,000 you put in a normal savings account at 0.01%. After a year, the interest that you've earned is going to be 10 cents on $1,000. That same $1,000, if you put in a high yield, you would have made at least $5. If it's like 0.50% APY, that equals $5 a year. I know it's not a lot of money, but if you have the opportunity, the money's going to be sitting there. Would you rather earn 5 cents or would you rather earn $5? So to me, it's easy on which route to go with that, but it's up to you. My main thing is you need to have an emergency fund and you need to put it in a safe place so that you don't use it on things that are not an emergency. So hopefully that answered your question. Yes, you need an emergency fund. You should have at least, at the minimum, 3 to 6 months, but I would prefer you to have 9 to 12 months. And then you need to put that money in a high yield savings account. Hopefully this video helped you out and got you to understand what an emergency fund is. Make sure you start yours if you haven't started it. But thank you for joining Financial Publishers. Please subscribe to our channel and we'll catch you on the next video answering your next question. Thank you.